Legend of ALF Alpha. We all know of the TV character ALF, right? If not, he is a very goofy looking character who looks similar to a Sasquatch. In this story, he is an interdimensional extraterrestrial banished from his home planet for being too goofy and what his kind considered dumb. He was a big joke even to the other ALFs. Everyone thought he was throwing a gear in the works by being there, simply because they couldn't help but to be annoyed by him. No one cared for him and they celebrated his departure, only to search quickly for another punching bag. This is a regular thing on their planet. They find one character, always the oddest of the bunch, and use him as a global punching bag, getting angrier and angrier until they have to kick him off entirely for getting so sick of looking at his face. With this particular ALF, they really couldn't stand him. This ALF tried to be smart with foreign ideas. On their planet they don't accept new ideas, especially ones they haven't heard of yet. So they are continuing down the same path towards their demise. ALF considered himself lucky he got banished, except the fact they shot him randomly into deep space with no controls. No food either, only a bunch of hate notes. ALF is very disturbed. He knows he's a true sweetheart in the purest of forms. He doesn't understand why his whole life he has rubbed everyone the wrong way, even when he tries his hardest. His own family was glad to see him go so they can look good again to the world. Poor ALF is adrift in space all alone, heading deeper and deeper into darkness. The light and the noise of his planet completely fade away and he feels like disappearing completely into the blackness like he never was. He doesn't have a single home to go back to or a safe place to escape to. All his memories are filled with negative thoughts about others poking and prodding at him. He doesn't ever remember having a carefree time in life except for maybe when he was a young kid. Even then his siblings couldn't stand him. He never had any friends and the one girl he had a crush on crushed his heart in front of everyone. He's had it up to here with everything and now has nothing but empty space all around. No one to even vent to. Back at home it was the same thing. The second he would try and vent, it would instantly set everyone off. The way they see it is they have so much problems themselves, there is no time for ALF's nonsense. Who cares about ALF and his make-believe problems? Oftentimes people would forget he's conscious with a memory and emotions. Long story short, ALF didn't fit in with his planet and it showed. The reason why is he doesn't have the same interests. All he wants to do is live and be happy, but has never found a home. No one has ever let him just be himself. Everyone overlooks him and often uses him as a punching bag without thinking. It's just second nature. No one stands up for him and takes his side, even though he would stand up for anyone else in the same position. Out of everyone on his entire planet, he is the most genuine, loving and honest. Even though others try and paint a picture like he's not. Knowing deep down everything they say is stretched and untrue, they can't help themselves but to try and turn everyone they can against him. Simply so they can feel okay about sending all their unwanted negative energy his way. They don't even know why he bothers them so bad, he just does. Since they all agree, who cares why? He seems to be in the way, let's banish him. The way the rest of them see it is, it's just loner ALF. In no way could anything they do or say to him ever come back to haunt them, right? The truth is he is highly intelligent, just doesn't know it. His whole life everyone has always made him feel sloppy and dumb no matter what he does or says. So he just assumes he's dumb like the people think he is. In reality he is the most unique and compassion-filled being on their planet. Truly is one of a kind. As he is hurling through space, he is in the single darkest moment in his life. Literally. In pitch black space and in the darkest of corners mentally anyone could ever be in. Considering how highly intelligent he is beyond darkness. In the darkness, however, he sees a light up within his brain. Suddenly he can see everything. Inside of his mind. He has been floating around for a solid 20 hours now and doesn't know where he is. He can't tell the difference between thoughts and illusions. What's real or what's a dream? Physically he is floating in space. Mentally he is floating in space. He has an epiphany and suddenly unravels the entire universe. He sees a planet randomly come into view inside of his mind. Earth. Suddenly he pops through the dimensional wall and Earth is right in front of him. His ship is in fact moments from entering the atmosphere. He burns through the atmosphere on a sunny day and comes crashing down in the USA. Just off the shore of the Florida Keys. After crash landing, his ship begins to sink. He barely manages to pry the doors open using his strong bare arms. They literally welded it shut on him. As if they didn't even want him to escape if he could. Thankfully, when he landed, his ship cracked in half, leaving just enough room for him to squeeze his goofy self out. He swims to shore and gets looked at like a Bigfoot on the loose. He's not sure where he is or what the beings are like here. It's a completely different world here compared to his. He had a purple sky and everything felt a little lighter. Even though he came from a hostile planet with a low planetary frequency, this one seems heavier and even lower. ALF is in shock and wonders to himself. Did I pop through to an even lower dimension? Already escaping personal hell, he doesn't understand why he is here now. First thing he does is finds a place to hide and try and figure out where he is and what kind of world this is. What kind of beings live here and what is their system? Are they connected as one or separate, lost and hostile? Are they connected to other dimensions and know about extraterrestrial life being one of the functioning planets? Or is this a Class 1 lunar planet? Even worse, a Class 6 violently controlled planet? These are all the questions he asks himself. Even on his planet they moved beyond money, had space flight, advanced technology, interdimensional travel, extraterrestrial contact, freedom to go from the inner planet to the outer. An equal balance system. He was the one flaw of their planet. The one punching bag. He thinks back upon how harmonious they must be without him. Meanwhile, back at home, the ALF solar system has been invaded by a hostile force preparing an attack on his home planet, who is preparing for battle as well. He does his research and finds out this is a 6th-class planet in a lower dimension of thought. Which is strange because his kind never enters this lower dimension. Somehow being pushed into the darkest corner has brought ALF down to all new lows. At first he kicks himself, feeling really scared. How did I let my emotions get the best of me? Now he has to live the remainder of his years in a lower dimension as if he's back in time. He tries to use his powers but can't. He can't fly, he can't levitate things, and he can't transport out to a higher dimension. Thinking about it, his mind doesn't even feel connected to the universe anymore. Somehow it just isn't working. He starts to panic. What is going on? What kind of reality am I in? This is why they have warnings to stay away from these lower planes of existence. He starts hyperventilating and freaking out. Why do I deserve this, he says to himself. He panics and tries to catch his breath. One thing about his kind is they are strong and are known to make the best out of a situation. He decides instead of panicking he is gonna look around and see what this world has to offer. He looks at the rest of the beings and realizes they aren't using any powers either. He starts to think, why is no one using their powers? Then he asks himself, is this the dimension where powers don't exist, or the dimension where they don't know about their powers yet? Making it a Class 5 in the 3rd dimension. After walking around and looking through the media, he realizes there is a rather simple solution he might just be able to solve here on this planet. He realizes the people of Earth have yet to figure out their own existence. An issue him and his planet went through thousands of years ago. Before his planet figured it out, they were at constant war and were lost like zombies. Back then their powers didn't exist yet either. Then they had the consciousness revolution naturally sweep them by storm. He realizes they seem to lack one basic thing here. Knowledge. Like watering your crops with Gatorade, it just doesn't work. What he sees is a quick fix to all their problems. The only issue he has is he's ALF. He doesn't even speak the same language. He also has a horrible speech impediment and has a very hard time expressing himself. He has genius thoughts but can't get them out in a way anyone understands. Because of this, they just assume everything he says is crazy and dumb. The few things they do pick up are so far above their heads they think he's in imagination land. They then ignore him, unable to get past this. It's ALF. How credible is he anyways? No one has time. Plus he's always annoying and thinks he's smart. Back to his home planet. They are on the very verge of a full-scale invasion. They have spent all their time hating ALF for the last 10 years. They are completely unprepared. They can't help but blame ALF for this. Right now that's not ALF's problem. He is dealing with a situation of his own. He tries to leave a few notes for the leaders of the world, but to his surprise they get rejected almost instantly. He realizes these beings have been lost for so long they think reality is insane and not real. He also realizes the current system they have set up is a corrupt system for control in favor of only a few in charge who want to keep it that way. The reality they currently live in is random and confusing. He can still see the separation of all the inhabitants and the puzzle of creation still being shaped for them. As if they are still in the build-up phase of their existence. ALF feels as if he's back in the very beginning of time. He decides to help them out and pull together the puzzle for them. Using their own artists, musicians, movies and quotes to paint the full picture with reference points they can understand. He realizes there is something here which could benefit him greatly. As if it was made just for this reason. The TV and internet. He figures out the internet and realizes it's a perfect platform for him to start building his platform on. Once it's ready he will then alert the world at the same time. He realizes the population is scared and shy to move forward. They don't know what's a lie or who to trust. They clearly have been hurt for quite some time. ALF sheds a tear over this and develops a huge sense of compassion for the human race. He does his absolute best to write stories, make music and get it out into the world in the easiest way possible. Wanting to write the human race a message reminding them how incredibly strong they are and how beautiful they are. Little does he know, however, planet Earth is also in the middle of a giant secret war of their own, which hardly any of the world knows about. Behind the scenes the rulers of Earth are in a pickle. Mighty extraterrestrials lurk just above, wanting disclosure of secrets and to free the human race. The rulers are pinned down with the finger on the dead man switch trigger, about to end the whole thing. In a standoff situation. The rulers are on edge and on high alert for anyone going against their plans. They don't want to reveal and don't want this to be the end for them. So anyone trying to help spread knowledge will be taken out almost instantly. Before the world knows about it. They are all about keeping the surface world down and far behind the learning curve. In this reality they can control us. Information is the biggest threat to them. So perfect for poor ALF. Who simply wants to help the human race and make them feel special again, bringing the magic back. Completely unaware of them being there. The second he uploads his platform online they are onto him. Initially they saw someone going against their plan and were going to take him out. Something stopped them dead in their tracks, however. They just couldn't once they saw him. Something about his goofy loner appearance and outcast persona struck a certain chord with them. Especially seeing him working with what he's got and struggling to save the entire world. It was an incredible learning experience. A personal changing experience for both sides. Believe it or not, they saw incredible strength within him. A loner goofball with no one on his side, standing up to the entire world. Simply because he wants to help the people he sees struggling. What they also see is a potential way out for themselves. As if ALF was designed to get planet Earth and all parties out of the mess they are in regards to disclosure. They are also very surprised someone would actually take matters into their own hands like this. They have never seen this before and it's throwing them through a loop. Somehow this misfit character knows so much and is painting the perfect message right in time to save everyone. They're completely floored. They decide to sit back and monitor ALF from a distance. To see what he has to say. What they witness is shocking to both them as well as ALF. He pulls a message together from the world in hopes to flip it back to the world. Making ALF a phantom character. Simply the one who spliced it together and put it out there. The message he pulls together, however, goes so perfectly even ALF has to step back and take another look. The group watching him, however, figures it out even before he does. ALF is a perfectly placed higher plan. Even beyond anything they could have guessed. The timing and the situation the world is in. What has been proven to them is the existence of God, the last thing they expected. They can see a bold puzzle being formed thanks to ALF. They see the puzzle being formed because of ALF. In fact, directly around ALF. Everything since the beginning has seemed to shape the world directly to this turning point as if it was always meant to be. Proving that they themselves are an equal part of the puzzle which seems to be formed around ALF. They also see the direction ALF is trying to take the world in and are blown away. They didn't even know what ALF knows. No one did. What ALF has demonstrated is planet Earth, and the situation around planet Earth clearly appears like a puzzle and a bottleneck leading to a flipping point in our reality. Before ALF entering the scene, this puzzle was invisible, as if ALF is the perfectly placed eye of the puzzle. ALF was placed and able to pull all the pieces of information together as to demonstrate this. Placed like a higher plan to do so. As if part of the higher plan is to reveal this higher plan itself and the puzzle all things are a part of. All things falling into place as if there is an invisible guide to the universe. After all, the way to a new reality is to reflect it externally after ascending internally. ALF, being the advanced being who he is, looks up at the stars one night. Here on planet Earth it's hard to see them. He sends a telepathic message out into space asking for guidance and help. Feeling very lost, he prays to the universe. The universe responds by popping a thought into his head. Planet Earth is the last. He thinks deeply and realizes something. Knowing we are all connected throughout the universe by energy. If planet Earth is in fact the last one, when planet Earth begins healing, the universe does as well. Meaning even his own home planet will be affected from the inside out, raising its vibrations and the whole universe's vibrations into a complete new phase of peace. Basically, the universe is bottled down on planet Earth. ALF realizes the entire universe is now riding on him. Since it's now all on his back, the universe is bottled down into his consciousness, making him the new collective center of the universe. Or the one. Which would explain why he is so weird. He is a mix of everyone. Long story short, he is monitored for about a year building this message. He already prevented a massive cataclysm and the future looks incredible and unimaginably bright. He ended the standoff and now both sides are waiting ever so patiently and eagerly for one last thing. The massage to get picked up and for the population to get it. Once they do, all the extraterrestrials will come together, revealing new technology, ending all conflicts and raising this planet from a class -6 to a class 1 learning planet. He finally reveals the message. Planet Earth heals and all other races heal from within. Right before the invasion of ALF's home planet. The invaders are struck with Earth's vibes. Suddenly they are happy and carefree. They are on a whole new level of understanding and end the invasion right then and there. They even turn around and decide to work together for a change. Now only freedom and friends exist throughout the universe. ALF was celebrated when he arrived back home. He didn't stay for long though. Earth is his new home. ALF is invited on stage and the only thing he ever says is, "Better late than never, right?" I always knew this was a dream world that is common knowledge. I just never thought in a million light years that it would be centered around me. Planet Earth starts to slowly climb the mental spiritual ladder and wake up to their existence. Or into their existence rather. Ascending as a whole step by step into a limitless future. Getting the ball rolling after simply piecing together the same puzzle ALF did as to make sense of their reality. Making sense is the basis of reality. As for the consciousness to survive within itself, it has to make sense of itself, whatever that may be. After making sense and following the trail of how we all co-create our reality as one. A lucid dream direction is the direction of the collective leaving build-up in the past. The issue of disclosure being finally settled in a very incredible and in the most unexpected way. After waking up to the bigger picture of things, the process of disclosure got underway and out of the way forever. Now planet Earth has gotten past its immature phase, having consciously advanced to its next plane of existence or understanding. ALF is shy and wants nothing more than a cozy, humble life and to finally find inner peace. Being the center dreamer of the universe and attached to the whole universe as one. Inner peace for both were lined up at the same time. All ALF wants is a simple home in the swamp like Shrek. Shrek to Trump. I won't let you drain the swamp. Legend of ALF.
Alright, now I want to share with you a sign which I experienced after the jewel sign, almost instantly after the jewel sign. This is actually comes from a dream that my former fiance had. She had dreamed that the goofy character ALF saved the world overnight. So the character ALF from the show, ALF, looked kind of like a goofy Sasquatch, Bigfoot character. She had a dream that he saved the world overnight. He was on the big screen, everyone was cheering ALF as if he was just scored a touchdown or something, and he saved the world. Everyone was so happy and thrilled that he saved the world overnight. I took that to mean some random misfit, unexpected, highly unlikely character in some unique way literally saves the world overnight. And I took this as, that's interesting. I've written a story, actually, because I go and visit my father, and to my surprise, he has a statue, a Bigfoot statue of the character ALF at his house. And that's when I came up with the phrase ALF ALPHA. Between me and him, we came up with ALPHA. ALF stands for Alpha. And I wrote a story called Legend of ALF ALPHA. It's about Alpha, or ALF becoming the prime alpha of the universe, or the creator of reality itself. In the story, reality is a dream, and he is the host of that dream. And he shares information which starts to change reality itself and open up people's minds into a new plane of existence. And he single-handedly ties the whole universe together because the whole universe is stemming down to him. So I wrote this story, Legend of ALF ALPHA. And after writing the story, I stumbled upon a picture almost immediately after, by random chance, of what's called the Pillars of Creation. It's located in the Eagle Nebula, the cosmic cloud in space, which looks identical to the character of ALF. It's called the Pillars of Creation. Again, I just wrote a story where ALF becomes the prime creator of reality stemming from a dream that my former girlfriend had, going on at the same time where I found this jewel on the ground and experiencing all the other signs. And it doesn't look just similar to ALF. This picture was identical to ALF, the top pillar of creation. I then went to go submit my previous story, Dream Girl in the Pink Clouds, and the publishing company I was researching at the time, I noticed that the address was 585 Alpha Drive. So I thought that was pretty fascinating as well, like another alpha sign, ironically around the same time that I just wrote the story, Legend of ALF ALPHA.